Isn't this a cool place? It's a nice park here in the Bay Area. You know, pretty comfortable place, isn't it? You know, little winds, the sun in my face. There's a guy over there playing basketball, right? Quiet, people running, dogs walking around. You know, very, very comfortable, right? Well, the wind's a little bit. You know, this is our career sometimes, right? We are in this place that's very comfortable and everything seems fine. I mean, there's nothing to worry about, right? We make good money, we're working on interesting projects, and everything seems great. And why? That's the moment that we kind of think, why are we gonna move, right? Why we should do anything else? You know, why do I need to learn something else? Why do I need to get myself into an uncomfortable position, right? And the thing is, the problem of staying stopped in a place is that time passes, right? And then other things happen, right? You know, the world around us change, and then, you know, things go, you know, maybe the sun comes down, or the wind gets too cold, or whatever happens, right? Then something happens that put ourselves in an uncomfortable position. And this is the moment where we start kind of thinking, well, I'm comfortable, but I'm also uncomfortable. So that was one of the questions that I got at the my presentation with Rodrigo Moutinho at Oracle One. And this is very fair, right? So why do I need to do anything, right? And the reason why we kind of get this feeling that we're comfortably uncomfortable. You know, something is not right, and we need to do something about it, right? And we need to start working on something. And this is a good moment for you to think about your career, right? It's a good moment for you to think about what are the things that you really got to do. It's a good moment for you to start planning for the future when you're comfortable, when you're making enough money, you're working on a nice project, you have time, right? Maybe you have time to stay with your family, and so that is a very, very good moment for you to start thinking about something else. You know, start experimenting with something else. You start, trying out some different technologies. You start trying out some different products. You start trying out some different things, because when you're comfortable, right, it's a good moment for you to get ready for the uncomfortable moments, because they're gonna show up, right? That's the true things. They're gonna show up. Your company might, have a reorg. Let me tell you a little story. I was working on the best project of my life, right? The best career, the best position I could ever think about, right? I was reporting to a Sun Microsystems vice president, and I didn't have a boss, right? Actually, my hierarchical boss, he would call me a couple of times a year just to ask me if I had enough money to do the things I wanted to do. Right, so I didn't have a boss. I was working on open source. I was working for amazing people. I mean, there's no reason for me to move at all, right? Everything was wonderful and great. And then Oracle acquired Sun, and I was fired. Or I was laid off, right? Some people kind of prefer, don't say fired. I was laid off, right? So I was laid off, and then I immediately got uncomfortable, right? Because now I had to look for something else. I had to do something else. I had to work on a different thing in my career, right? So, there's moments where everything is going fine. They're great. It's a great moment for you to think about other things, right? And the thing is, the only way for you to see what's going to happen next for you, the only way for you to have an idea of your next step or the next technology that they want to try out, is if you go out and experiment. Right? The best thing you can do is experiment. So go ahead and experiment with different things. Experiment with artificial intelligence. Experiment with big data. Experiment with cloud computing. Experiment, right? Experiment with different things. Experiment by building a game, or experiment by doing a mobile application. I don't know. Experiment a new language. The fact that you experiment with different things, it prepares you for the moment where you might need to have another option, right? Then you might need to look for another thing, right? So don't use those moments of total comfort to just be total comfort. Maybe do something that's not related to your work, right? Maybe, go do something different, experiment something with your family, experiment, go do something, right? Go do some other things. I've got a friend that he tried out all kinds of different things, right? He actually built a transport company, right? Because he was confident, he was making lots of money on his job, so he went out, he experimented with a transport company. He experimented with building a website, he experimented with teaching people other things, and then he actually found out what the thing that he loves to do, right? So, this is the moment that you experiment with other things, that actually opens up your mind for new things. And the best way for you to experiment with other things is, once you learn those new ideas, learn those new things, apply them to what you have right now, and go teach your community those new things you're learning, right? So let's say, for example, that you experiment with artificial intelligence, and you're a Java EE guy, right? And you try to experiment with artificial intelligence. So go teach, artificial intelligence for Java EE developers, right? Or maybe you're experimenting with, experimenting with IoT, or creating robots for your kids, right? Because you want to use that time that you have, that comfort that you have, to have fun with your kids, for example. So you're experimenting, and so maybe, so maybe you can actually go and create a little website, or create a presentation about robotics for Java developers, or something like this, right? Or robotics for Java EE developers, right? If that's your main work, So experiment with things, and share that with other people, because once you share with other people, they're going to tell you if those things are interesting or not, and if maybe you can find your new passion by doing this, right? So don't be extremely comfortable. Understand that things happen around you, and if you're totally comfortable, you're not looking around, you might have your rug pulled under your feet, right? But use those moments of comfortable, that you're comfortable, to experiment with other things. Put yourself in a controllable, uncomfortable position, right? So you can learn new skills. The only time that we learn new skills is when we are uncomfortable. So if you take the moment that you are comfortable with everything else, and then you experiment with different things that they're very low risk, right? You put yourself in an uncomfortable way, you learn new skills, you grow, even though everything seems fine. All right? So this is Bruno Souza for Code for Life, and I'm answering the questions from my presentation at Oracle Code One. So go ahead, and the links below, take a look, register for the Code for Life initiative, so you can get access to a lot of career information. But also, if you want to go ahead and ask me questions on the comments below, you can ask questions. I'm going to answer all of them. Thank you.